بسم الله الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. إلى هنا بلغ القول التمام وحسن القطع الكلام بالختام فيا شدات العلم وطلابه ويا قصاد الفقه وأربابه. Basically he's saying this is where the speech will end about the book, and he's calling to those students of knowledge and those that are specializing in knowledge. امتثلوا بمعاقد التعليم وأنتم تقلبون على مقاعد التعليم تجدوا نفعه وتحمدوا عاقبته. He's saying that basically follow this advice, these chapters of knowledge that we've gone through, these 20 chapters, that you can closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, implement them in your studying and seeking knowledge. وإياكم وتهاونوا بها والعزوف عنها, and be careful not to fail and lose them, these points that we've studied. فإنها مفتاح العلم ومرقاة الفهم, for they are the keys to knowledge and the doors to understanding. وبها تجمع العلوم وتوصل وبها تسير الفنون وتحصل. And this, with these chapters that we've studied and gone through these principles, is a way that you can achieve the different sciences and the different knowledges. فشمروا عن سعر الجد ولا تشغلوا بمعية الجد. So basically, like, roll up your sleeves and work hard to seek knowledge, and don't waste time on those things that are gonna be distractions of life, like the luxurious affairs, basically. واحفظوا رحمكم الله قول ابن أبي عبد الله ابن قيم رحمه الله عز وجل: طالب النفوذ إلى الله والدار الآخر، بل إلى كل علم وصناعة ورياسة، بحيث يكون رأسا في ذلك مقتدا به فيه، يحتاج أن يكون شجاعا مقداما حاكما على وهمه. So Ibn Qayyim rahimahullah, he says that the person that's trying to seek knowledge and get closer to Allah, go into the next life, he needs to be very careful, to be brave basically, and struggle hard and fight against your desires and your lower distractions, right? Because every time you have a distraction or lower desire that's taking you away from beneficial knowledge and getting closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so you try your best to fight against that. And you have to have a love, we said, of knowledge and a passion to it. And you have to spend your time and make your himma aliyah, make your desire, aspirations high. If you aim high, inshallah you'll achieve more. And just not be satisfied with the status quo. Don't be mediocre. Always try to be the best in what you do, especially in seeking knowledge. He says to be calm and to have patience and to keep going and not giving up. And don't let wasted time daydreaming about fruitless affairs, but be practical and consistent. Don't waste time up, in terms of, eating, oversleeping, having too many gatherings with friends out, social events, stuff like that. That's just a waste of time. Don't let that overtake you. And also, if you start getting knowledgeable in the deen, and that's blessed from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, don't ever get prideful and let the praise of the people get to your head. Right? And likewise, if you're seeking knowledge and you're getting knowledgeable in the deen, and people are criticizing you for not going out with them or partying or having fun, always being strict, don't let their blame upon you have effect upon you as well. Always just be consistent. The praise or the blame doesn't, as long as you're following the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the praise and the blame doesn't matter. Just be consistent and keep striving. And he says to have the good character and the akhlaq of the ulama and the tulab al-ilm. You're representing the deen of Islam. So as you are a student of knowledge, be keen to represent it, to show yourself as a student of knowledge. Wear the proper dress, act the proper way. Don't be a fool in front of others. Try to have higher standards, in terms of not doing what everybody else does. Sometimes, I've seen some people that have position of leaderships, or they're people of knowledge, and they say, or they show off things that are very distasteful, and that's not the way of a student of knowledge or leaders in general. They have to, even though sometimes it might be easier, it might be fun, and you have that desire to do so, but you should hold yourself to a higher standard, right? Because you're taken as an example. So be keen to try your best to have the high character at all times. And then Ibn Qayyim rahimahullah, he said that the key to all of this is basically cutting off those worldly distractions and those people that'll bring you away from the talab al-ilm, seeking knowledge, and cutting off also the So you have inward distractions, which are the heart, which is like sinfulness and wasting time and desire, following the lower desires. Then you have the outward distractors, people that are trying to waste your time, doing frivolous things, spending time in the wrong way. So be very balanced and very keen to cut both of those off if you want to succeed, right? And that's with all endeavors. If you look at successful people, in the dunya as well, they do the same thing. They sacrifice, some of the pleasures of this world to achieve a higher goal. You look at some of the greatest scientists, some of the greatest leaders, some of the greatest business people, they had to sacrifice certain things to get to the level they reached, right? And so the same thing with knowledge. This is the most glorious of gifts that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can give to a person, to be knowledgeable in his deen for his sake, to learn for yourself and to spread to your family and to the society at large, right? So it's going to take sacrifice and it takes effort. And that's basically the end of the book. Just to review real quick the chapters we went over. Purifying the heart was the first, etiquette or adab or recommendation of the Shaykh. Purifying the heart from the sicknesses that we talked about. Correcting your attention, being passionate and motivated to seek knowledge. Go back to the Quran and Sunnah. Take the right path in seeking knowledge, the way that the predecessors showed us, taking the small ilm before the large ilm, and studying the books that are most important. Putting first thing first. Taking advantage of your youth before you get too old, being careful and deliberate, having patience, having proper etiquette, adab, being honorable and avoiding the dishonorable acts, keeping righteous company that will motivate you to seek knowledge and encourage you and help you to achieve those goals. Memorize, for memorization is a key to knowledge. Respect the scholars and the people of knowledge. Go back to the scholars if you find like confusing issues or questions that are of a higher level. Respect the books, treating the books kindly and respectfully. Don't throw them around like any other book or disrespect them, by stepping on them or doing things that are disrespectful. And also respecting the gatherings of knowledge. And then defend the knowledge and protect the knowledge that you learn, right? As a people, like, we said, there are people that are non-Muslims attacking Islam. It's our duty to stand up and defend it, with a pen or with the spoken word, and to make it better. There are people of deviation trying to distract or pull people away from the correct path. It's our duty to defend the knowledge and speak against that if we're able to do so. Also, using the proper etiquette in your questions. When you ask a question to a scholar or a teacher, use good manners and good etiquette that we went over. Falling in love with knowledge, where it becomes something that's like the most pleasurable thing for you. The more you train your nafs to love it, the more you will enjoy it, and it becomes easy upon you. Also, the final one we just talked about is using your time wisely. And then the Shaykh, he makes dua. He says, Allahumma yassir lana ta'adim al-'ilm wa ijlalihi wa ja'alna mimman sa'alahu kadhalika fanalahu. He says, Oh Allah, make us of those that we respect the knowledge and honor it, and that we are those who strive for it and attain it. Allahumma innaka nas'aluka 'ilman nafi'a wa na'udhu bika min 'ilman la yanfa'a. And we ask you, Allah, to give us the knowledge that is beneficial, and we seek refuge in you to get from the knowledge that is not beneficial. Allahumma 'allimna ma yanfa'una wa anfa'na bima 'allamtana wa zidna 'ilma wa 'amala. He said, Oh Allah, teach us with that which is beneficial to us, and benefit with that which you have taught us, and increase us in knowledge and action. اللهم اقسم لنا من خشيتك ما تحول به بيننا وبين معصيتك ومن طاعتك ما تبلغنا به جنتك ومن يقين ما تهون علينا مصائب الدنيا. Oh Allah, give us the khashya or the fear of you that will put a barrier between us and sinning against you, and provide us with obedience that will let us reach Jannah, and give us yaqeen or certainty that will make the hardships of this dunya easy upon us. اللهم متعنا بأسماعنا وبصارنا وقواتنا أبدا ما أحييتنا. Oh Allah, let us live in this world with the benefit of our hearing and our sight and our strength as long as we are alive. وَجَعَلْهُ وَارِثًا مِنَّا, and let us be inherited with that. اللهم لا تجعل الدنيا أكبر همنا ولا مبلغ علمنا. And oh Allah, do not make the dunya our biggest concern, nor the farthest reach of our knowledge. وَلَا إِلَى النَّارِ مَصِيرَنَا, and don't allow us to go to the hellfire as our destination. وَلَا تُسَلِّطْ عَلَيْنَا مِنْ لَا يَخَافُكَ فِينَا وَلَا يَرْحَمُنَا, and do not put upon us those who do not fear you in us or have mercy upon us. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept from us. Alhamdulillah, we finished this book, and we ask Allah to bless us. We have dinner, inshallah. If you have any questions now, you can ask. If not, we can just go ahead and eat, and we can discuss either now or on WhatsApp the next book that we're going to study. So, alhamdulillah, we finished Da wa Dawa, the sickness and the cure. Then we finished this book, Ta'dim al-Ilm, how to respect knowledge and the etiquettes of seeking knowledge. And next we'll either do like a book in either Aqidah or Fiqh or Hadith, inshallah. So the idea is to keep going and building upon, smaller text if possible, and increasing our knowledge in the deen that we at least are obligated to know about. Jazakumullah khairan. Ayyakum. Any questions? Advice?
Just a small remark.
Yes.
The hadith you mentioned about the 5 things that a person can be asked about. There's the hadith that says اغتنم خمسا قبل خمس.
Yes.
That was the 5 that you listed.
No.
The other hadith is لا تزول قدم عبد يوم القيامة حتى يسأل عن 4.
No.
عن عمره فيما أفناه وشبابه فيما أبلاه وماله من أين اكتسبه وفيما أنفقه وعن علمه وما عمل به.
No.
So it's just this.
Yeah, so that's technical Jazakallah khair translation. Is the first hadith that we mentioned is take advantage of 5 before 5, which is your youth before your old age. It's not in the same order, I don't have it written, but roughly your youth before your old age, your health before your sickness, your wealth before your poverty, your free time before you're occupied, and your life before your death. And then the other hadith is that you won't be taking a step forward on the day of judgment unless you are asked about 4 things. Your youth, how you spent it; your money, how you earned it; your and how you spent the money. Shabab al-Khab, and your life before, how you spent it. Yeah.
Your wealth, how you acquired it, how you spent it, and your knowledge.
Your knowledge and what you did with it, which is another important one that applies to what we were talking about. The knowledge that you attained and how you spent that knowledge. Because like they say, zakat al-ilmi at-ta'lim. So the zakat for seeking knowledge or understanding something, learning something, is teaching it, right? Whether you teach it to your family, or your friends or somebody in society, and everything time you teach somebody something, inshallah, you get their reward of that, whatever they act upon that knowledge. So imagine if you taught somebody some ayat of the Quran, or the Fatiha, or how to offer salat, or such and such is fard, or such and such is haram, and every time they do that fard, you get some type of reward from it. Every time they stay away from that haram, you get some type of reward from it, inshallah. So, yeah, jazakallah khair. جزاكم الله خير سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك السلام عليكم ورحمة الله